They moved Carlos to the second floor in March. He still walks with the limp, and every time I see him, I think about the report, the one I closed out as unfounded. I run safety compliance for a warehouse in the Midwest, about 400 employees on 3 shifts. My job is the most boring on paper and the most important in reality. When somebody gets hurt, the form I fill out is what triggers everything else. Workers' comp, OSHA, insurance review, sometimes a recall if the equipment is implicated. My bonus is tied to incident frequency, specifically the rolling 6-month rate. We had a target last fiscal year under 3 reportable injuries per 100 employees. Anything below that, the team, me, the floor manager, the regional director, we all hit a tier. Anything above, the tier reset to 0. $11,000 for me at the top tier, more for the people above me. Carlos worked the loading dock, 45. Wife, 2 kids in middle school. Came in on a Saturday in February because we were short-staffed and Carlos picks up doubles when he can. Was helping a driver with a pallet that hadn't been secured right and the corner of it came down across his lower leg. Not amputation bad. The bone bruise was deep though. Soft tissue damage. Couldn't put weight on it for 6 weeks. I knew within an hour because the supervisor texted me a photo of the swelling. I drove down to the warehouse on a Saturday afternoon and I sat in my office with the door closed and I looked at the bonus calculation sheet from December. This is the part where I'd like to tell you I wrestled with it, that I weighed Carlos against the number for hours, that I lost sleep. The truth is uglier. I knew within 10 minutes what I was going to do. I called Carlos on Monday morning and I told him we needed to talk about how we were going to handle the report. I framed it as protection. I said the language he used would matter for his medical leave. I said if I wrote it up as a workplace injury, there would be an investigation. The supervisor would be questioned. The pallet vendor would be brought in. The whole thing would drag on for months while Carlos was just trying to heal. If instead Carlos agreed that the pallet had already been on the floor when he stepped on it, that he was off shift, walking through to grab lunch from the break room, then we could process it as a personal injury. The union health plan would cover it, short-term disability, no HR review, no interrogations, back to work when ready, nobody would lose anything. I said it like I was helping. I almost convinced myself. Carlos didn't argue. Carlos doesn't argue. He nodded, and he signed the form I put in front of him, and he limped out of my office. I closed the file as a non-occupational soft tissue strain. I marked the original supervisor incident report as unfounded narrative inconsistencies on review. I sent the bonus calc to corporate with the rolling rate intact. 3 weeks later, the regional director sent me a personal email thanking me for, quote, holding the line in a hard quarter. He copied my floor manager. He copied his own boss. The word discretion appeared twice. Carlos came back in April, got moved to the second floor because the loading work isn't possible anymore. The union steward, a woman named Diane who has known Carlos for 15 years, asked me twice if there was a report on file. I told her there wasn't because there hadn't been an incident. She looked at me a long time and then she said okay. My bonus that quarter was $11,000. I put it toward a kitchen remodel my wife had been asking about for 2 years. We picked cabinets together on a Sunday afternoon and I felt nothing the entire time we were in the showroom. I picked the dark walnut because it was what she wanted, and I kept thinking about Carlos signing the form, the way the pen sat in his hand like it weighed more than it should have. Carlos has another year before his oldest starts college. I keep telling myself I'll find a way to make it right, a scholarship fund, an amended report, something. It's been 14 months, I haven't done a thing. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments.